So regret is a really heavy energy and an emotion to carry around. So that comes as a result a lot of times for people of playing it safe and not really going for it. Point number 3 of playing it safe that it stops you from doing is testing yourself and developing new skills and talents. So a lot of the times you don't know what you're capable of unless you put yourself out there, unless you put yourself in the ring to test that out. And there's a famous poem called "The Man in the Arena," and it's exactly that. You know, you are better off putting yourself in the arena, being tested, fall down, come back up, and find out what you're truly capable of, rather than not trying at all. And testing yourself quite often will astound you. You just go, I didn't know I could do that. And this is what going for it and putting yourself in that place allows you to do.
Yeah, it was funny 2 years ago, last year, 2000. Oh, I forget when it was, but I was like, I need to get out of the space that I'm in. I'm too focused in on all my situations. I need a release. I need an outlet. So I was like, I'm gonna start drawing. It's something I've never done before. I don't. It's not where I'm comfortable. I'm not.
What type of drawing?
It was just charcoal,
Yeah.
like, black and whites and some shading and all this. I'm like, I don't even know where to start. I've got no clue. And I remember watching one of my uncles when he was just sitting there drawing. He was drawing a tree, but he was taking such pride and time. And there was 3 or 4 kids just watching him because it was so good. And I'm like, it's just it's art, you know? And so I'm sitting there, got my pad and got my charcoal and watching a YouTube video, and they're telling me how to draw this apple. And as I finished, I was like, wow, that apple's actually pretty good for my first ever charcoal drawing. And I showed it to my mum because my mum's always like, oh, look, that's, and she's like, that's actually pretty good. And she's like, I didn't know you could draw. I'm like, I didn't know I could draw either, but I just went out of my comfort zone. And I'm like, I want to try something that's completely different. I've got the music part, but I wanted to try something I've never done.
That's cool.
And then I did a cup as well, like just a normal cup, and that turned out just as good. I'm like, I guess I got a knack for this, but I wouldn't have ever tried if I didn't think outside of the box and go, hey, I need to have a release.
Test new skills. It's funny you say that because tomorrow I'm going to an art exhibition.
Oh, cool.
And what's really interesting about this is my wife Bettina, who always had an interest in drawing and art. You know, when our kids were little, she just dabbled with it a little bit, and then that was, it was like life got busy and just put it on hold. So about 12 months ago, she went, look, no, I really want to get back into this, and so she started taking art classes again, and part of the process was leading them to that process where they then exhibit. So part of her work, as well as the students, as well as artists, is on show in this show tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
So that was her putting herself out there, and so it doesn't have to be in a business sense. It's like, I don't reckon there's too many. I've spoken to writers and artists who say that some of the most vulnerable things that you can ever do is just put your work out there for people to comment on. That's pretty exposing.
Yeah.
And playing it safe would be drawing and just keeping them in your portfolio at home, but putting them up framed for people to look at is kind of putting it out there.
Putting it all out there.
I don't, there's a lot of things that I'm comfortable in risk. I'd have to grow into that one, to be honest, actually.
Yeah, I think a cup and an apple are pretty safe to put out there.
They're doing life drawing, right?
Yeah.
So they're life drawing ones, and I can't, like Bettina's got them in her office at home, and our boys have quite often walked in, and you don't want to hear the comments that they walk in when they've walked in, and then going, what the hell are all these drawings going on? But I'm super proud of her for just stepping out of her comfort zone and trying something different in that big way.
But it's something to say about her character, to be able to humble herself halfway through her life and go, you know what, I'm going to go back and be a student again.
Yeah.
And she's done this before, but just coming back and re-enhancing and doing a class and going, no, I really want to do this again. And just going, hey, I'm an expert in this field. I've written books. I've done all this, but I can be a student again.
Yeah.
It's something about her character.
Beginner's mindset, right?
Yep. White belt.
That's it. That's exactly what that is. So if you are prepared to test yourself and develop new skills, the next level what that will do for you when you are prepared to step into your fear is it's going to open up new ideas, opportunities, and experiences for you. Because what will happen is, based on where you are right now, that's going to attract different situations, opportunities, and people to you. But the moment that you go to another stage and level, or like you said with your basically taking on a new premises at a much bigger premises, that's going to open up different opportunities, different options, different situations for you that you wouldn't have had available to you had you stayed where you were. And so they can be both commercial opportunities, but they can also be personal opportunities that are the case. So you start laying momentum and the foundation of different types of realities and possibilities when you embrace the uncertainty of a bigger step.
Yep. And this is a thing that me, with my experience in doing the consulting and seeing how when you have key customers come in, the difference between just talking numbers with the key customer and then having a chef or a pastry chef prepare the food and then serve it up to the potential customer, and they get to eat it and try it, you can see it in their face. They're like, I've got faith in this product all of a sudden. So when I sat down and I was talking to the potential partner, I'm like, I'm going to have a display kitchen here where we can do presentations. There'll be a projector on the wall. We can run numbers. And he was looking at me like, I've never even thought about doing that. I was like, yeah, well, you got to do something different than what everyone else does in the industry. You know, it's all good to drop a sample off. But if you've got a slideshow and I can cook it fresh for them and I can put fresh custard over a plum pudding or whatever it is, they just go, wow, I can actually see this. And they got some value and ownership on it now. Like, yeah, this product is good. We can sell this. And then when they're selling it, they've got this different fire. So then the end user will get it and go, hey, the guy who sold me this really loves it. And yeah, it just builds on that. It opens you up to more opportunities, but you've just got to be willing to have the space or the time or, you know, just look outside that box. And that's why the hobby was great for me. It was because I was looking at doing something I've never done before. And some people like to read novels, fiction novels. Some people like to just play games. Like, there's ways to get out, to be outside of your comfort zone, but to be productive as well.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. It opens opportunities.
Sure does. And point number 5 of being prepared to embrace the uncertainty and take steps is that we kind of mentioned elements of this is it encourages both personal and business growth. So you're going to grow as a person when you step into uncertainty. And as a result of that, that may open up possibilities that we said in multiple areas, but you're going to grow as a person. And when you're consistently stepping into the uncertainty in all areas of your life, you can't help but not grow. You're not going to be the same version of yourself as you were 10 years ago when you're consistently stepping into those situations and avoid the constraints of that. You know, I can see that, and you can see that a lot when, you know, I talked a lot about the migrant story in another channel, and you know what always amazed me was the story of a migrant is phenomenal, because a lot of the times you take this massive risk in uprooting your whole family, your whole way of life, your language, you move away from all those kind of things, and you take this massive risk to go to another country. You may not know the language, and that's, I guess this is a story that's really important to me, because that's the journey of my parents, right? And so what really fascinated me was, and if anybody's watching here, I'm Adam's right in front of me, and I look at him regularly, but I'm going into this different. I'm looking up and to the right, picturing this story, and Adam's just looking out of the room, going, "What's he looking at?" And I'm not, man. I'm just. I can see this picture in my mind, so I do apologize if you're seeing me on video.
I thought something was about to fall.
There's nothing
talking about risk.
No, man. I'm just in that part of the brain that draws pictures. But